Okay. Hello. All right, there we go. All right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You're with right now. You're with Hanging with the Force, and Hanging with the Force is a podcast where we talk everything basketball. We talk everything from lifestyle to just entertainment and to general just having fun. And today I'm excited because we have a very important guest, someone I'm excited to talk with. Her name is Linda Ogugua Oly. Linda, anybody who is anybody in basketball knows who Linda Ogugua is. Linda is the premier big lady in Nigerian basketball. She played in Biola University. She's an Olympian. She went to the Athens Olympics, and I mean, it's just so wonderful to have her. I mean, she is one that I'm definitely happy to talk to. And so right now we're gonna have Linda. I think we're gonna have Linda introduce herself in a way that she actually deems fit. So about to have Linda on right now. Accepting. Okay. Hello.
Hey,
Hey,
how you doing?
I'm good. What's going on?
Don't mind me. I have to put on my scarf.
No, it's okay. Haba. Nah,
My hair is a
nah, the Niger way now. Nah, the
hey,
Niger way.
because
Eh.
so when you dey inside house, you dey different now.
Oh,
Make I no come go dey feel wey no sabi me.
no, that one day. Make them not look like small girl. So how far now?
Thank God.
You be like say the stroll. Taking the
No,
stroll.
I'm heading. No, I'm heading back to the house.
Okay. So no problem, no problem. How's everything? How's work? How's
Work is fine. Can't complain.
okay? Okay, nice.
I juggle two different set of jobs, so that's
Wow,
fine.
wow. That no be beans. So
Well, I have to do it because I'm getting ready for to get into my master's program in August.
okay,
So,
nice, nice, wonderful. You're still hitting the books, but you're still hitting the books.
well, it's part of growing. I've been pretty much since I graduated with my BA. I've been
Yeah.
working in mental health. Um, I did
Wow.
0 to 5 years, my early years after graduation for 8 years. Then
Mm,
now I'm doing adult mental health.
okay. That's
But,
wonderful. You know,
yep.
yeah, because I actually dropped an article on mental health, so I didn't even know you were. I thought we were just talking basketball. I didn't even know that you're a mental health professional. So during the course of this interview, I think you might just give us a few tidbits about the importance and maybe the importance of diagnosing and the threat that mental health poses. Because a lot of people think, if say for Nigeria, once you get mental health, they will just lock you up somewhere. Or
Well, this is the way I put it.
okay,
In Africa, we're in denial of the
yes,
symptoms and whatnot. And for me, it's not just being in denial, but more or less that we're not well informed. You understand?
okay,
We're
yeah,
not well informed.
hmm,
The information we have in mental health is more like the ones walking on the streets.
yeah,
But people, stress is part of it. Depression is
hmm,
part of it, and everybody is different. The way you react to something is different from another person. But from my own
hmm,
side of, having to work with adults, it's more or less
yeah,
acknowledging the fact that they're human beings. Because I pretty much have dentists, doctors, lawyers, that these are people who have attained a high level of education and even better for themselves in the society. But one or two things kind of hit them, and here they are. But at the end of the day, it's just being very supportive. It's not using those harsh, like for Nigeria, with the light tease. So it's being aware where instead of you teasing the person, you acknowledge the person, because the person is a person. But whatever the person is going through doesn't define that person as it is. So
it's true.
There's a whole lot when you want to support people, as much as you being able to understand what the different illnesses is, and you don't have to judge, but give them their time in working. It's just like in education. Not be everybody they read fast. Not be everybody they write fast. So here they create an avenue where you can be productive depending on your level of understanding. Unlike Nigeria, everybody did the same class. They fail, they fail, then they push you behind. Nobody they really know what they go on. Mind you, today there is media. Just think about in their home, hungry, don't have food. Parents are not well enough to give them 3 square meals. But those same kids go to school, and how do they perform? Nobody really dive into that. So those are the little issue. Because I remember my working with 0 to 5, I always encourage the mom. It's supposed to be a program in the school environment, but because the mental health department of my county sponsors it, so they have to come to us. And I tell them it's not about the mental health, but the program that help you manage your children both at home and the streets or wherever the child may be having difficulties. So yeah.
Wow, I think that's like a mini masterclass a mini masterclass on the subject, and we're still going to go back into it, but first of all, let's talk about your basketball career.
Okay.
I know. Yes. So I have a couple of questions. There's a few questions I'm going to ask, and then just feel free to freestyle, and just So
try.
let me adjust my. Okay. All right. First question is early beginnings. What got you into basketball?
Well, from elementary school, I've been a member of my school's athletic, which is more or less, I did track and I did long jump in primary school. But prior to attending St. Monica's College, Kaba, which is my secondary school, I don't really know anything about basketball, but I walk on the street. People will always say Akim Olajuwon, which I don't really care because I don't even know him.
We even know him.
Yeah, but I was how will I put it? There was a competition that Ola secondary school competition. My school was invited. Even though my principal didn't want us to go, I kind of arranged the girls and we used our pocket money to head out because I was interested. I played volleyball, I played handball, and I did short, those ones were school inter-house sports. But when we were told about the invitational competition in Ilorin, we pretty much sponsored ourselves, even though my principal refused. And playing in Pamakojuola was my first exposure. And kudos to Hunter, Coach Mike. He's formerly Kwara State, but based in Kogi State because he's part of the Kogi team. So Coach Mike came down from Ilorin to my school in Kaba. And he said, you don't need to bounce. I just need you to turn around and shoot. That was the only thing I heard about basketball. And apparently, we head out to Ilorin, and at the end of the competition, my school won. So
Wow.
yes, my school won. In that regards, Kwara State Falcons now invited me when I went back to school. I think I was in JSS2 or JSS3, if I can remember, JSS2 per se. So they invited me back to Ilorin to join the Kwara State female team. So
Wow.
that is actually where I would say the basketball journey started for me, because every other thing is just like you're a kid trying to walk. I was crawling when I played. I was crawling when I played the secondary school competition, but then learning to walk was more of a hard work with. I guess Lasso,
Of course.
Ismaila. Those were the first people that took me by the hands and guided me when I visited Ilorin for the camp.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. That's everybody has a different story, and a turn of events and coincidences. So yours is a very interesting one. Interesting one, considering the fact that you guys actually sponsored yourselves and everything. Okay, like you already what was your fondest memories like when you joined like Kwara Falcons? Because I know winning your first tournament was already one of the part of the fond memories.
Yeah, living from secondary school, I was burned because I was in all girls secondary school. My parents weren't really in support, but I had to push myself to go there. So in respect, I had the guidance of late Helen.
Okay.
She's a family, I would call her a family friend, because when Kogi State was divided from Kwara, she came home and visited my house, and my parents met her. But joining the team, I think for me, struggling as a young girl with height, and everybody's like short. And when I started basketball, I think that was an environment that created a more conducive environment for me. It gave me more shying away from home, but then coming into sports was more like a place for me to be myself, because I'm seeing people that at least have the height, people with the same interest. That kind of made it for me. And again, gave me other opportunities, because I remember during the Bauchi Sports Festival, that was the first time I met OBJ. And I know from then, even though I'm in secondary school, he kept communicating with me that he wanted me to come to ABU Zaria. Unfortunately, with the riots and everything, that kind of changed my mind to head towards the east instead of looking up to ABU. But I think my high school, winning the high school competition was really great, because coming back to my school, I became the game prefect. The school honored us. Kaba, the king of Kaba, the community welcomed us, hosted us. So that was my first impression. Okay, you can be something better than what it is. And may his soul rest in peace. Emmanuel Chago. He left Lagos and he came to my house in Okene. Came to my house, pretty much meeting my parents. So for me, it became something, at least somebody saw me and put interest in me that I have to now. But, they have to say to my parents that I was going like I'm going to go to school, because my parents wouldn't let me leave without the school,
School ticket.
So it all worked well, because when I got to First Bank, that was my first exposure, meeting allow me, Taiwo, girls that
Yeah.
would be on the same, have the same interest of what I was doing. So thanks to First Bank with our sets, they kind of usually they have to close the camp, but because of
Mm-hmm.
us, those of us that came from different parts of the states, they were
Yes.
able to let the camp open so that we
Okay.
can be there and we can train. And at least I saw the real hard work in First Bank. So yeah.
And yeah. So who are the players you like the female players you looked up to? I mean, the ones that you said, wow, I look at this player and I'm like, I want to learn from this person. I want to be like this person. You know what I mean?
Well, most of the things for me, it was more because I didn't see most of the players play, but I heard the story. Someone like Stella Agbo,
Yes.
her toughness on the court.
Yes.
Her okay, I was lucky to play with Salamat. She's a guard.
Yeah. Yes.
Dorcas,
Yeah.
the fighting spirit. Those were the and Josephina Kiga. Those were the first people I came in contact with, and it kind of made Emmanuel Chagu was a very hands-on coach. He played with us and made it more real that playing with Akiga, Josephine Akiga, Dorcas, Shola and the rest of them. Yeah. They told us when they were active, as in before we came in. So that was the spirit that First Bank instilled in us. And for me, I heard about Adekwanga, but I never knew her. But they just tell you how tough and whatnot. So when we practice, is that toughness that everybody is looking for. Because I mean, national camp is not a moi situation. You have to fight your way out. So we all did it.
Oh, amazing, amazing. So before you left, can you just give me can you just name all the clubs you played for in Nigeria, at least for Nigeria?
I travel, but now
just like me,
Jala travels, but it's with reason. So my first exposure to the local league was First Bank.
Okay.
I came to Lagos under Emmanuel Chagu and was with him. And after playing, during the period we don't have competition. From the family side, I was under pressure to go to school. But based on the fact that I'm connected with First Bank, of course, I owe them that my first duty, because at least they take care of us and everything. Yeah. So prior to that, it was my intention to go to Yaba Tech. Okay. That was denied. Okay. We wanted to go to Ife. Okay. There was a long story. So for me, my dad did his PhD in Uniben. I've always loved Uniben, so I headed for, there. So I played for First Bank. But when school time came, because my parents could only accommodate me being away from home if I was in school. So I had to go to, so First Bank, I left. I was in Uniben, school team. Then after that, in between, because I was called to national camp and I don't have any team, I decided to talk to Coach Scott, which I played for Plateau, but I never stayed in Jos. I only meet them at the place of competitions. Then playing for Plateau, finally I got in touch with we did the custom screening. So I was with Customs. Customs was my last team before leaving Nigeria. Yes. Oh. So Falcon was Kwara Falcon was my baby, They brought me up and they exposed me. But when in terms of tough competitions, First Bank was my first experience in playing tournaments and whatnot. Then Play 2, then Customs.
Okay. Wow. Maybe small, Ajala. Did you go to college first before playing for the national team, or did you play for the national team before going to the, or before playing outside the country?
I've always, I think my first call to the national team was 1990. We played the preliminaries for the Harare All-African Games,
All-African Games,
93.
Yeah.
Yes, but
Yeah.
it was for the tournament in 97, which, what I say? No, I think it was 95.
Yeah.
I didn't, I had an incident at the camp where I needed to go for my visa interview, but the coach was like, if you leave, you don't get to come back.
Yeah.
So, and for me, I've always been that person, like, even though I spoke to Coach Scott, who was my coach, as in, you know, I had to face my dream, because the truth about in Nigeria, the structure is not really fundamental for everybody. For me, just knowing that some people don't care about school, but my family, that was the assurance I gave to my dad. If I have to be free, then I have to do something. And when it called for me to go for an interview and I was refused, I left. I didn't care about the end result of going to Harare. So that aside, but I did play the preliminaries. Then I went for Nations Cup in Kenya. Then when I came back, I came back under Buba. Came back to Custom, and that was when I left to Russia.
Okay, left for Russia. Yes. Let's talk about your experience in Russia, because Ed, you know, everybody has a story about the US. Everybody has a story about Europe. Maybe people have stories about the Middle East, but Russia. How did you cope with the cold, first of all?
Well, I will say that it wasn't like I have my childhood friends. My dad's best friend married to a Russian lady, and we all grew up. So the language, I'm already familiar with it a little bit, because you know, a lot of Russian people work in Ajokuta Steel Company, and my mom works at the Itakwe Iron Ore. So I'm familiar with the people. But yeah, to me it was the comrade. I think I traveled with Monday Paul. We're excited. I don't really, you know, like you heard you're leaving and you're giving everything out, only to have just one T-shirt, hoping when you get there you start. Nobody told me about the weather. So by the time I got to the airport, the people that received us had to just take me and drive me to the store to get, you know, good wear. But it was fun. We were in company of, I think if I can remember, Olumide, Frayo, Mohammed, Paul was Puzo. Call him Puzo. Yes. So Ejelu and Helicopter. We, you know, and McBen. It was just me and McBen, the female, but the rest are guys. And you know, meeting some other Cameroonian players too that were under the same management that we went out on. It was an exposure to learn, and at the same time, I think for me it was more learning the fundamentals of don't get yourself entangled when you're not ready.
It's true.
So, but though, will I say the 1 year we spent was fun because I had the opportunity of playing with Dynamo female team, which is a police owned team. And I think Mark Ben was with CSK, which is the army team. But the training the girls were nice, friendly, helpful, and you get to know the town, the city, and I guess we met other athletes from different clubs, and the soccer players like Guavon. He was playing when we were there, so we had the opportunity of being in contact with him and hanging out, and at least seeing what one step of professional, being a professional is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. I mean, I'm asking all these questions because there are a lot of young players, who are aspiring to travel out, and they just think they'll just jump into any contract, not just to your experience, jump into any contract, go to any country, not knowing what it actually entails and everything, So the stories of people like you who have gone way ahead of them, I think would actually give a lot of insight.
I think for me, if you ask me, the truth about whatever anybody chooses to do is you knowing what you want. Unfortunately, our system is not structured to give us that opportunity to know ourselves. And in my case, I've been invited Old Dominion, Road Guards, Session Hall. I ran into going to the embassy for 9 good times. And one person, Tolani Phillips, if you know it, he's in Dublin. I was walking to the National Stadium, and that was one person that called me and said, hey, if the US is not opening door, why don't you try something else and get familiarized with what the game looks like, then get yourself ready. So I had that first hand in somebody telling me the difference. Even though I traveled, at the back of my mind is all about school. You understand? My goal was always, to fulfill my dad's request of me going to school. So in terms of, I'm not going to, because I know some girls that are like, oh, I don't want to go to school. I just want to make little money, which is fine. But I think for me, it's more that as an athlete, you want to know what you want and what,
what your options are.
For me, I know basketball, yes, but it has to be added with education because I would then have something to fall back to.
Yes.
And again, going to different countries is fine, but then you want to know if the country you're going to go and play, will it be a hindrance for you when you want to attend school? Because US has their own eligibility issues and whatnot. But thank God I went to NAIA schools, which I don't have to be. Although I was penalized for 2 years eligibility issue, but at least my school, Biola, kind of paid off my 4-year tuition, and I was able to graduate.
Wow, that's amazing. Because let's talk about Biola. Is it Biola?
Biola. But it used to be a Bible Institute of LA, so that's what it means.
Okay. So let's talk about what was your experience like there? Just anything, playing, lifestyle, campus life,
Well, I was sheltered under the Christian school, so I'm used to it. And I basically choose them because I wanted somewhere that would keep me level-headed. You know, you coming to the state, there's different lifestyle. Like I see my roommates, my teammates, they were like, "Oh, Linda, let's go to club," and I'll be like, "What? No, I'm just doing this." Okay, that's what they want. They grew up here. I didn't, you know, I'm a visitor coming in, and I have to adapt to the school. But the school was fun for me. My coach, God bless his, you know, somebody that saw more things in me that I don't even know. Because I remember my first day going to register. He said, "Linda, even if I'm here, I'm not here. I want you to graduate." And I kept that in my mind in the sense that when I was in France playing, the coach calls me literally all the time because my dad was down. You know, my dad was in coma. So he was like a support system for me. And that was why when I came to the state, I said I have to go to Biola, even though there are other schools that wanted me. But it was fun. It was hard. Just my first year, I have to just take classes because I have to be a junior before I play. And most of the students don't know me. I'm a reserve person, but I think when my eligibility clearance was over, the school offered me a one-page interview, and everybody's like, "Wow, you've been here, you've been there." You know, I made friends, but I had also the company of Abe Medukwi. He was my senior in school, and he helped me a lot when I came in. And my team was good. At least my first game, we were able to go to my first game playing with them. We made it to the nationals, even though they've never been to the national. My two seasons that I played, we went to nationals, and that was it. Something that Biola hasn't done before. We were able to accomplish it. And for the fact that top teams like Vanguard, we won them, you know, those teams that will just come along and just get people out of the way. We were able to compete, and getting a win and actually being the number one was something for me to head to the national. So it made a very, very
That's
good,
amazing.
yeah.
That's amazing. So, where else did you play? Because you said Russia, you said France.
Okay.
Where else?
My journey started in Russia, but when I went to, I came back for the for the All African Games in South Africa.
Yeah.
And when we were done, prior to heading back to Nigeria, Masai got me a link to play in Greece. So I played with Ment. The name of the team is Ment in Thessaloniki. And arriving there, I had to play European Championship because they were qualified to play, and that was my experience playing with them. We went to Italy playing against a team in Parma. Then after my season, Division 1 in Greece, I played in France for 2 seasons. I played for Alabisi Limoges in France for 2 seasons. Then right after my second season, my dad was in coma. I had to forfeit heading back to school because that was what I promised I would do. So that was when I now relocated to the States.
Okay, wow. Now that was your Ajala now for Nigeria and for outside Nigeria.
Now hustle, they say make you hustle. Anyhow, you just get to reach your final destination.
Oh, wonderful. Let's talk about your national team career. We're going to save first of all, we're going to save the Olympics for last because I mean, but I mean, let's talk about all the other ones. What was your experience like? I know you had already mentioned it, but what was your
Oh my,
experience like? I mean, just playing on the national team.
oh my God. As much as y- you know, whatever that is going on in basketball now, it is.
Mm,
I will say that I'm fortunate to have the best experience.
mm,
Growing under Emmanuel Chago,
yeah.
played under Scott,
Mm,
also Waka as our
yeah.
national team coach. It was, I can, the the experience, the opportunity is something that I'm always very grateful because um,
Amazing.
the exposure that First Bank gave us was
Yeah.
the best foundation that I ever have. Because when I moved to Lagos from Okene,
Yeah.
it was constantly we go to the stadium, walk out. Coach
Mm,
Chagu had to drill us in athletics. Coach Laka,
mm,
late Coach Laka,
mm,
and Coach Kola
yeah.
from the athletics department did help us to work on our stamina and whatnot. But the game itself is something to always cherish and appreciate because not just as a player, but we became family. You
Mm,
know,
mm,
from First Bank, majority of us were in national teams, so we get to see each other at all times and compete. Which
yeah.
Taiwo Rafiu is
Mm,
one of who had A team,
yeah.
B team, C team. So you have to
Yeah.
measure yourself, knowing fully well that you want to be in the A team to
Yeah.
constantly wear the jersey. So that
Yeah.
gave us that fighting spirit because you just have to work hard. It wasn't like by giving, you have to prove yourself
Yeah.
that you're able to do that. So that foundation is something that I will forever be grateful, and I
Mm,
wish that I don't know what is going on right now. I know a lot of people are doing, grassroots um,
programs
opportunity
and
for the young ones, and it's well encouraged because I know that grassroots upbringing got me
mm,
ready for what it is when I was able to travel or play in the college team or
mm,
be informed of what a true tournament looks like.
like,
Yeah.
wow, wow. So now the Greece Olympics. I mean, what? When I was doing your advertising and everything, I was like, I'm talking to an Olympian. Now it's now only for Africa. They don't understand what team Olympian mean, but out there, if you tell somebody I played the Olympics, I mean it's the pinnacle of sports achievements. So how did that feel for you, and how did that feel for you, and how did
For
the tournament?
oh shoot, let me tell you this. So I don't know if you've come across her name, Maltese. She was my
Okay,
roommate in. Yeah, she played for the Greece team, but she was my
okay,
roommate in my the team I played for in Ment. And the
okay.
mom usually cook and invites me. So having to go back to Greece for the Olympic was a
Yes.
homecoming. It was, and not just the Olympic, but it was a homecoming to somewhere that
Wow.
I once played, and just to see
Mm,
the girls, the ones in the national team, because every one of them
yeah.
I've played against them, and two
Yeah.
were my teammates. We played together in Ment. So
Mm,
I held it like um Well, you know how when God wants to crown your effort for everything,
Yeah.
regardless, the bad moments, all the experience that you wish you didn't see,
See,
going back to
yes. Hmm.
a blessing. And
Wow.
wearing the Nigerian
Whoa.
jersey for my teammates to see me where I come from and pretty much representing my country, it's
Yeah.
something I would never forget. So I had fun. I knew the places, just like from the airport. I was saying, remembering the greetings that you tell the officers, so they know I've been there before. I'm not just coming for the Olympics. So I kind of made fun out of it, but it's a
Wonderful. Uh, I can only imagine, because, like you said, coming down from the plane, you practically know everywhere. You know people, so it's not as if you're a Johnny just come.
No, I know JJC for that matter. I know all the looks and corner, most especially the place where Nigerians they go chop eba.
Yeah.
You know that kind of thing.
Yes, yes.
The name now ammonia. You go chop.
It's true. Crazy. So okay, now I'm gonna ask. Okay, I'm gonna ask a very weird question, Val.
Mm-hmm.
What was the worst moment of your career? Or one of the worst?
I call it. Well, I would take it as a moment because I was young. I don't have the tools to understand why. But as an adult right now,
yes,
I won't really say it's part of
development
and testing your endurance when challenges comes your way.
That's that positive thinking. Yeah.
It's all more or less like the things that I wanted to do, but I couldn't do it because maybe the coach said no, and they never told me why. And I was just left without an explanation. Just like when I went to the American University, and I was told if I leave the camp, I can't come back.
Oh, yes.
So I look back and I'm like, why would somebody who wants you to be somebody deprive you of something that is important like that?
Yes, yes. This guy is true. Something that would help you.
Yes. I mean, if maybe people didn't go out of the camp, I understand. If maybe people didn't come to camp late, I understand. But there are one or two people that had their own personal things that they had to do. Then why they know when I requested? It's not like I wanted to get out of the camp. I had an appointment, and the appointment was important. So those experiences for me way back was hot because I don't have when it comes to who do you reach out to, who do you talk to.
Yes.
So, but if it's basketball, I had fun. It's just understanding the people that we look up to. It's just like understanding the people that are like guidance. Are they really protecting us to the things we want to do? As in helping us to understand why this is like that.
It's so true. So true. So okay. I'm going to ask some hard questions.
No problem. I'm up for it.
All right. The same. Okay. The question I want to ask is like, okay, sometimes, considering your status as an imposing figure in Nigerian basketball, you're one of the biggest women I've seen play basketball in Nigeria. I mean, some people would say your size and everything was an advantage or whatever. I mean, but sometimes, did you ever wish you were a guard, maybe a small forward? Did you wish you could carry the ball on top and put it between your legs, like maybe like how these players can do nowadays?
Well, I would say during my time, what I understood was the coach wanted me to be inside. The coach wanted me to be a rebounder. We all have to contribute to the team. Somebody like somebody like handles the ball. I grew up in an era where you have that fundamental upbringing where you know what you're on the team to do. Today's basketball is so much business, but still is whatever you're to do that you do. And I never wish to be short.
Okay, nice.
I never wish to be short, but at the same time, I don't like being the tallest because I'm always a target.
Yes.
They see me first. But there's an advantage to it because I never get in trouble.
Okay, because they see you being your nice self.
I never get in trouble. But I got I have other than that.
You have mouth.
I'm gonna go talk my way. It's growing up where my both parents are educated. So I'm in a house where they talk to you. You tell them what the equation is. I've never been ignored, but coming to basketball, I had to learn that. Talking can put you in trouble.
True.
As well as keeping quiet can put you in trouble.
Wow. Yes, as a matter of fact, maybe anything can put you in trouble depending on where you are.
That's true.
Yeah. So, personal question: Are you like the tallest in your family, or do you come from a tall family?
With my siblings, I'm the tallest.
Okay.
But family, both my mom and dad's side, we have height.
Okay.
But between my parents, my mom's taller than my dad.
Okay.
So I have uncles that are 6'6" on both sides of the family.
Okay. Wow, that's amazing. So, for someone who has been around the game for decades and played basketball at the highest level, what do you see? Let's talk about Nigerian basketball now. You have already spoken your experiences. Everybody knows, say you sabi this Nigerian basketball, and you see what's going on now. you see what they go on. At least before, I always say before that we thought things were bad. Now things are over on his head. I mean, what's your take on it, and what do you think are the challenges, and what do you think can be done or should be done?
I used to growing up. I used to hope that when this time come, it was gonna be a better moment. But little did I know that I can't even explain.
I know.
Yes. But the only thing that in my own opinion is more like individuals that are in charge of basketball should live it down in their mind. Where let's assume that you're a leader, which is a father, and the players are like your children. what do you hope
What
for
do
your
you hope
children?
for your children?
When
For them to be better
you have that
When you have that
conscience
conscience
of doing the
of
right
doing
thing,
the right thing,
then all
then
this
all this
drama and everything
drama
that is
and
going
everything that
on
is
will
going
not
on will
be
not be
the way it is.
the
But
way
I
it
do
is. But I do
understand
understand
Nigeria as a
Nigeria
whole,
as
our
a
management
whole, our
and
management and
logistics is a
logistics
huge
is a
issue.
huge
But
issue.
then
But then
we're in an
we're in an
advanced environment
advanced
where,
environment where
for those of us
for
that
those
are
of us
already
that are
out
already out
and
and
a whole lot of
a
their
whole lot of
dream
their
travel out and
travel
see how
out and
other
see
people,
how
like
other
in my
people,
school,
like in my school.
I remember when I was
I
in
remember
school,
when I was
my team will go
my team
to
will go
Mexico,
to
you know,
Mexico,
we
you
do
know,
those
we do
jobs
those
so
jobs
that
so
people who
that
will be
people
donating
who
will
will
know
be
you're
donating
doing
will know you're
something.
doing something.
But you don't just
But
stay in
you
one
don't
place
just
and
stay in
wait
one
for
place
something
and
to
wait for
come to
something to
you.
come to you.
Yeah.
We just need to
We just need
restructure
to
everything.
restructure everything.
I think so.
We just need to
We just
restructure
need to
everything.
restructure everything.
Unfortunately, the system is what
Unfortunately, the
it is
system is what
because
it is because
not just in
not just
basketball, but
basketball, but
Nigeria as a whole.
Nigeria as
People
a
do what they
whole.
need to
People
do
do what they
because
need to
nobody
do
is
because nobody's
going to hold
nobody's
anybody
gonna hold
accountable of
anybody
anything.
accountable of anything.
So
So
you do your own
you
job,
do your own job,
good or bad.
good or bad.
Nobody's evaluating
Nobody's
you.
evaluating you.
But
so
out
true.
here,
But
like
out
every,
here, like every,
just like my
just like
coach,
my
you know,
coach,
you ask
you know,
you ask the players,
you ask the players,
how is the
how
coach?
is the coach?
Is he communicating?
Is he communicating?
Even the management.
From the management.
So
So
I just feel like it's a soul searching first.
first.
If we do
If
soul
we do
searching,
soul searching,
then we come in
then
and
we come in and
put up a
put up a
structure that
structure
everybody
that
will have
everybody
to
will
abide.
have to abide.
Then it will
Then
eliminate
we
some
will
of
eliminate
this.
some of this.
Some people lie
Some
just
people
to
lie
save
just
face,
to
and
save face, and
you know, fortunately,
you know,
they know
fortunately,
they pay my bills,
they know
so
they
I
pay
don't
my
send
bills,
anybody.
so I don't send anybody.
Yes, yes. You know, I like the fact you said something about restructuring because, I mean, I think our basketball is actually started on a faulty structure in the first place. You know, so I think when a structure like for a building is not well made,
Standing. Mm-hmm.
with time it would actually show itself. You understand?
Yeah.
It will show itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm happy you said you spoke about structure. Okay, I'll ask one question. Over the years, there's been a lot of issues, controversies surrounding the game of basketball. Most notably, remember the one with the Tigress.
Mm-hmm.
You being an ex-Tigress, you know, and I'm sure you've heard about it. How do you feel about it? Like, especially for these younger girls, you know, having gone through what they had to go through. I mean, I don't really know the story around it, but I'm sure you do.
Well, as much as it is, it's sad.
It's sad.
Mm.
The reason I said it's sad because I know
how
it took the time to get us exposed. And when we finally had the opportunity in that stage, we're being taken back. Not because of what we did, but because of whoever that is in charge. I know growing up in Nigeria and playing basketball, we hardly have competitions that females go to. But most of the time, the male team tournament, both
for their own tournament,
club-wise and everything. And just this little opportunity that female basketball came to life. Opportunity is there for. I'm glad for the kids that are here that is joining. But it wasn't all that rosy. And just seeing that opportunity to thrive. I don't know what the young ones look up to anymore. Who knows? I don't know.
I don't know.
Wow. So wow. So let's talk about life. We know you're retired now. I mean, what's the so what's life in retirement like for you? Do you miss the game, or you're like you're pushing new frontiers or whatever, or is it both?
No, I miss the game, but being in the States, you have opportunity of watching different types of basketball. In my early days, I actually was an assistant coach to Cal Baptist, the school I played against when I was in school. But everybody's not meant to be a coach. I love to be with the athletes, run with them, play with them. More or less, say, I want to be a trainer, but not a coach. Because coach carries a whole lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
So while I was doing that, I had a full-time job. That was when I was working with the little kids. So I did it for one season, and I took a break.
Okay.
I go to some of the games. Some of my teammates that I played in Europe, when the WNBA is going on, I do go out there. So I still have some life in it. I go to LA fitness to compete with guys, which I learned from Chicago, and the spirit is still there. But of recent, is a no for me because I underwent in 2009. So I'm mellow. I occupy my time more or less getting my period for my master's program. I'll be starting in August.
Yeah, your master's program. Let's talk about that. What are you trying to do? What are you hoping to do your master's in, if I may ask?
So my degree is in sociology and social work. While in Nigeria, I've always wanted to work with United Nations. So social work was one thing in my mind. But working in the mental health programs here, I'm drawn to do the marriage and family therapy program. The reason why is that I get to learn the opportunity of dynamic therapy, ways in approach to relate to people, and to be able to be a problem solver too. So apart from that, I took a program, the certificate program in psych mental psych technician. So I have that aside. I did that just to be familiarized with the psych medication and what it is for. So, but my master's will be in psychology, emphasis on marriage and family therapy.
Wow, that's amazing. That's really amazing. Wow.
Thank you.
So I think your master's course will be a 2-year program, right?
Yes.
Hopefully.
Yes.
It's a 2-year program. So from that time it will be MSc.
Yeah. It will be MS.
It will be MSc or MA?
It will be MS. But my license will be on that which is marriage and family therapy.
Okay, wonderful. I mean, I think before we leave, I remember I told you we are going to go back to the mental health issue that we started with. I was going to ask you, like, from a Nigerian perspective, I mean, I'll send the article I wrote, but from a Nigerian perspective, what do you think? Do you have any steps that you think people should take? Maybe not just government, just parents, because you see someone say, anxiety. They don't look at anxiety as anything. You see someone, like you say, stress. You're like, I beg. I beg no be hustle. You understand? So I mean, can you just talk a little bit more about it before we leave?
Okay. This is on my own journey.
Okay.
And I like to be vocal when it needs be, because sometimes back home in Africa, then they see smart, but they don't know it.
Yes.
But they don't know carry for this. And except truly tell yourself, then you'll be coming to kill yourself. I think one thing back home that I will remember is that a whole lot of us listen to somebody.
Yeah.
We talk over rather than listen to somebody.
It's true.
And at the same time, when somebody is trying to tell you what they're feeling, we're quick to justify whatever it is. So in essence, listening is a very good means of getting to see who is dealing with something. In the first instance, they're not able to express themselves. It actually takes a lot. So I had my surgery in 2019. I went to work. It was okay. Nothing was wrong with me. But I was feeling weird. Even the doctors that saw me was about judging me, and I looked at the doctor because I know the doctor, and I said, hey, I've never had this type of thing. Something is wrong, but I can't tell you. Behold, by the time they sent me to the CT scan, they found out that I was bleeding inside.
Wow.
But had it been I kept quiet, the doctor would have discharged me, and I would come to the house and I would lie down and I'm gone. Nobody knows. So listening is a huge part of helping somebody to digress a lot of things. You don't really have to say anything, but you allow that person to think, because you're creating a safe environment for the person. Unfortunately, it has to be on your conscience that somebody that walked up to tell you their difficulty is not telling you that you should tell the whole world. Here, they're protected because you can't share somebody's information without the person's acknowledgement. But you know, Nigeria, they call them. You don't see that person. Now, so it is. But at the end of the day, let's assume something went wrong and the person is no more. We also the people, you know, see that person don't die. I don't know, so when you tell me that thing, a real thing, all you just gotta do when a friend is in need, they speak to you. There's nothing wrong with coming and saying, hey, how are you? Just checking on you. It doesn't have to be money. It doesn't have to be. But at least you're giving the person assurance that you heard them.
Word.
Anxiety is real because I went through it. Depression is real. But at the end of the day, who is your village helping you? Like, even when I was dealing with mine, of course, the doctors knew me, and I told them, I work in this, but I cannot live under denial. I have to help myself first, because you have to help yourself before you help somebody else. So there's a whole lot of teaching that needs to be done in Nigeria, and also people to be aware, to see those signs and take care of it. And one good thing that helps people is to go to church and pray. But even after that, you need the real intervention, not just hiding behind a closed door and pray. Anything can happen from there. Not everybody has the willpower. So
wow.
There's a whole lot.
There's a whole lot to be done. Yes, there's a whole lot. I think this awareness really needs to be created, because I I heard about somebody who was just angry. You know, he was very aggressive, and only to find out he was in Lagos and he managed to find a psychologist. A psychologist, you know, and they sat and they talked to him and found out he was depressed because his father had died or something like that. You understand?
I lost my dad in 2006. Even though I smiled like I was saying, FDF, you know, it's one of those things. But then, like I said, I can't hold anything in my heart. I only grew and I knew better. And for the fact that there are people who actually care that reach out to you is enough. But then you look back on your life. The people you say they're your foundation, how did they step in? I was just a student, barely 3 months out of college.
Wow. How? I think Linda has dropped master classes on basketball, on psychology, on mental health and everything. I'm just so honored that you took the time to actually have this interview. I know you're tired. I know you're tired and everything, and you really need to get your rest. But Linda, I'm just so happy to have you, and we're gonna link up now. Anytime. For me at this point in time is what you have. I know they can't play again, but this is what we do for each other. We stand by each other to encourage and to, you know, help others grow too. So if there is anything that you feel that I'm able to come in, I'm here. Knowledge is here and you get more because you can't keep it to yourself. Yes, the system is different, but at the end of the day, I think for me, working in Nigeria, talking to somebody in Nigeria is more or less respecting their space, and at the same time, if they're willing to come out and I will be there. All right. Linda, so wonderful to have you. I wish you. Is it still morning there?
Yeah, it's still morning.
Okay. I wish you a good morning in LA, right? In LA. I wish you a good morning in LA and have a wonderful rest of the day. Please get your rest, and we'll talk later.
Thank you so much.
Linda Ogugua Oly out. Thank you so much. Yeah. Peace out.
Thank you.
All right. Yes, sir. So, ladies and gentlemen, okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, that we have it right now. It was Linda Ogugua. Ogugua Oly. We just had a wonderful discussion, and you guys have been hanging with the force, man. This is what we do. We just try to tell people stories, and I just hope you had a wonderful time. Please drop your comments. Please drop your comments on Facebook. This video is going to be on Facebook. It's going to be on YouTube. It's also going to be on Instagram, or it's going to be on Facebook. It's going to be on YouTube. You guys just like, subscribe, and comment. We want to hear what you guys have to say and everything. You know what I'm saying? So this is the Force. Hanging with the Force. Out.